For me, I'm looking ahead at another ball game, and I'm looking ahead at winning 4 or 5 straight, and helping write a story that they'll talk about how it looked like you were down and out and got it done. I mean that. That's the way that I'm operating. Every decision that I make over the next month will be with an eye in mind to get us in the Super Bowl now. And I would normally say you're really smoking something. I normally would say that. But I know the room, and I see the room. And I'm the one that okayed and put the coaches that are in that room in there.
Well, Jerry, if I'm smoking something, you get into contact because you sound like you're high. What are you talking about? What moves do you have left, bro? Like, listen, it sounded to me like he was reading an obituary. It sounded like he was doing a eulogy for Jason Garrett. So go ahead and listen, it happens to us all. We all get fired. That's the beauty of the game. You know, we all get fired. We all leave. Very few of us walk away from the game. Hell, Peyton Manning got fired. Jason Garrett, you on deck. You remember our favorite movie, Life? Walking a mile? You walking a mile.
He was doing a eulogy, but no dead body, because there's not going to be a dead body, at least until after the season with Jason Garrett. But, Nick, as unlikely as it probably is, at this point, do the Cowboys have any chance of recovering from this and making a playoff run?
No.
They very easily could come out of the division.
No,
they
cannot very easily come out of the division anymore. Not
you
anymore.
think Mitch Trubisky?
No, not anymore. Like, I'm glad you mentioned Mitch Trubisky. They're in Chicago next week.
Like Josh Allen.
Why would a game in Chicago go drastically differently than the game at home against Buffalo when those two teams are so similar?
Yeah.
Now, the Bills have been more buttoned up this year. They've been better. But stylistically, excellent defenses, limited quarterbacks that are better probably runners than throwers of the football, who occasionally can have really good games if they have a lot of time. Now, Josh Allen's better than Trubisky, but that's a very low bar to clear.
Right.
But that game's in Chicago as opposed to at home in Dallas. Like, it's over for the Cowboys. They are more likely to finish this season below 500 than they are to go on any type of playoff run.
This is the must-win right here.
Well, of course it's a must-win.
This is the must.
But I would argue yesterday was a must-win.
I would, too.
Yeah.
I mean, and so they are at Chicago, home for the Rams, at Philly. So Chicago will, I don't think they'll be a favorite in that game, but it'll be close as far as the point spread
field
goes.
goal kicking is horrible.
The Rams don't have an athletic quarterback, but again, a team that's going to have to rely on their defense, ask their quarterback not to make mistakes, and then a Philly team that has been better than Dallas this year. I know Dallas beat Philly. Philly's done something Dallas has shown no ability to do. You know what Philly did?
Bay.
They beat, exactly right. They beat Green Bay, and if I'm not mistaken, they also beat Buffalo. The Cowboys know it is one thing to say, well, maybe they can sneak in because of the division. Not when you play like this.
Yeah.
And not when you did not take advantage of early in the season, at the very least, the game. They went 1-3 against the AFC East. They lost that Jets game. At 7-5, they'd still be as bad as they are. But you might say, well, they already beat Philly. There's still a game up on them. They have a margin of error. Philly's about to get to 6-6. Philly's going to beat Miami this weekend. And so to me, Bart, it is, they're not going to fire Jason Garrett, fine, whatever. But no, the Cowboys, you are, through 12 games, you are what we think you are. And what the Cowboys are is an underachieving, talented football team.
And if you fire Jason Garrett, who you putting there? Kellen Moore? Rod Marinelli? I mean, Kellen Moore reminded me of Kyle Shanahan in the Super Bowl. Once Julio catches the ball, game over. But you wanted to gloss up that resume. Looked like he was hearing that, hey, Jason Garrett may be gone. Let me show everybody what I can do. And he got too cute. You know, Zeke, 71 yards on 12 carries. I mean, you keep feeding that man, and you also allow your offensive line and play action and all the things to work. Whenever I see Dak Prescott throwing the ball over 40 times, you know that something went wrong. He's a guy that you have to still keep under control. Yes, he's a talented player, but he's never a guy that you're supposed to let throw the ball that many times.
All right, let's move on to the game of the week now in the AFC. That's the Patriots visiting the Houston Texans. Say what you want about TB12 and his recent play, whether it's because of him or in spite of him. He's right where he always is, and that's on top of the conference at 10-1. This week could pose an extra challenge, though, as Brady has been limited in practice with elbow issues. So, Nick, let's cut right to the chase. Who you got in this one, New England or Houston?
Patriots. Listen, I said before the Baltimore game, I thought the Patriots were going to lose 3 of their next 5. I thought they'd lose to Baltimore, Philly, and Kansas City. Obviously, they didn't lose to Philly. I didn't think because of the coaching discrepancy.
Right.
the Cowboys could beat them, and the coaching discrepancy is even greater in this one against the Houston, with Bill O'Brien going up against Bill Belichick and that crew. The Houston Texans do one thing exceptionally well. Deshaun Watson throwing the deep ball. For some reason, schematically, they don't want to lean on that. They want to pretend they are a big, physical, tough, hardened. They are none of those things.
Right.
Even though they traded all those picks for Tunsil and drafted a first-round tackle, Titus Howard, they are not a big physical football team, so they squander opportunities. But the one thing you do well is the one thing no one can do against New England,
right,
which is throw the deep ball, which is be effective through the air. So, no, I'd be shocked if the Patriots lose this game. I would be shocked if Bill O'Brien can out-duel Bill Belichick, play him even close to a draw. And so, yeah, I mean, Brady is a problem for the Patriots right now, but not a big enough problem that they can't handle the Houston Texans.
For me, when you talk about the coaching discrepancy, you know that it goes directly to, the Patriots. But the one chance I give him, I've seen Deshaun Watson be special.
Yes.
And he's been in big games where he shouldn't be in it, and they have just enough weapons, because when you think about Gilmore versus Hopkins, that's not going to be a one-sided fight.
Nope.
Now, this is going to be something
It's not going to be Amari Cooper where he gets shut out.
Hopkins, he's not going to get shut out. But then when you think about Kenny Stills and Fuller, matched up against Chong, who, it's been an illness in Foxborough as well. I think a lot of guys have flu-like symptoms, so we don't know if they get in the track meet, as far as dehydration and all those type of things. I'm sure they're sucking down a bunch of Pedialyte right now. But, when I look at the capability for them to be explosive on offense and get big plays, easy plays like Baltimore did, I think that they have a shot in Deshaun Watson with his legs out in space with those big, physical linebackers.
Here's the other problem, though, on the other side of the ball. As much as the Patriots' offense has struggled, and I know we're going to get into that, is the Texans' defense has been bad all year. Been even worse since J.J. Watt went out for the season. Yeah. But where they are particularly egregious are the two spots where coaching can come into play the most and where the Patriots can take advantage. They are the 31st ranked red zone defense, or third down defense, and the 32nd ranked red zone defense.
Yeah.
So in the critical moments, that's where the Texans defense has been the absolute worst. We know the Patriots struggle to have repeated drives full length of the football field. If they get any of those against this defense, you got to figure it will be 7 instead of 3. Another reason, to me, the Patriots are the clear pick this weekend.
You mentioned it, Bart. A lot of this Patriots team suffering from the flu, held out of practice on Wednesday. We hear words now that Tom Brady's suffering from a little bit of an elbow injury. He was sort of limited in practice. What do you want to see from this offense, knowing what they've been through this week? What do you want to see from Tom Brady and the offense if they are going to get to the Super Bowl?
Oh, well, if the Patriots get to the Super Bowl, it's not going to be because of the offense.
Right.
I do not think that there's all of a sudden going to be some great vintage Tom Brady performance.
Right.
He's 42 years old. He's in year 20. He does have limited weapons. They have a limited offensive line, even though Isaiah Wynn being back does help. The idea, listen, if the Patriots offense all of a sudden transforms into a top 12 offense, not only will they win the Super Bowl, they will coast to the Super Bowl. The defense and the coaching are that good. The question is, can the Patriots get to and win a Super Bowl with an offense that is not a top 20 offense? Right now, I don't think they can. I do not think the Patriots, as presently constituted, and no change is coming, they're not bringing AB back, is going to have enough potency to get through Baltimore, Kansas City, whomever they have in the postseason.
AB and Dez.
And so, yeah, Jenna, are you saying if Brady throws for 450 and 4 scores, will I change my opinion? Sure, but that is not going to happen.
Okay, maybe they're a top 20 offense, but what has Bill Belichick added to that offense do? Is it top 20 offense plus Bill Belichick? Could that sort of overcome their deficiencies on offense?
It's tough because I think they're going to go through two teams that don't fear them. Andy Reid don't fear them. They respect them, and the Baltimore Ravens clearly doesn't fear them as well because they've gone up into Foxborough through Harbaugh's time there and been able to win in a hostile environment. and the physicality. I think really the biggest issues that's hurting this team is Devlin not being there because they don't have the power running game, and they don't have Gronkowski to set the edge. So now they have to figure out how we're going to get to our edges and really have a good running game. We'll see if the rookie Neal can be one of those hybrid tight end set the edge guys. And Mohamed Sanu, his first game, he had a tremendous chemistry with Brady in the first game. I think he had like 11 receptions. And, you know, now that allows teams not to just be able to bracket Edelman, but it's still going to be tough. Them getting the overall record, best record, and having a bye and letting the playoffs go through Gillette Stadium is a key component to if they're going to even have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl.
Well, and it is, there's only a handful of teams in the AFC that are real true contenders, right? So the Patriots, obviously, Baltimore, obviously. I think Kansas City is still a true contender. Yeah. Houston would argue they are. They lost to Baltimore already. Let's see how they play against Houston, and then they have Kansas City next week. The fifth team on that list would be the Bills, and the Bills played them once already this year. It's 16-10. They play them again here in a few weeks. If I'm wrong and they lose to Houston, then there's real concerns for the Patriots because, well, who are you going to have to beat to get to the Super Bowl? Baltimore, Houston, you play Kansas City the following week. If they win this week and win next week, not only will they be the 1 seed, they'll be saying, okay, there's the one team that we haven't beaten in Baltimore. We'll get another chance for in the postseason. I think the Patriots win this week, but it's not going to be because the offense all of a sudden flips a switch.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, is Jerry Jones making mistakes standing by Jason Garrett? That's still ahead on First Things First.